Last night I was at a feminist discussion group, and the conversation moved around like it generally does. But I thought this topic that we discussed for a while would be interesting to bring to YouTube. Oftentimes you hear from pro-choice activists, or just like slogans. One of them is "Women are not incubators," and I hadn't really thought about it that much. In general, you're like, why should we have to incubate life at our expense? But really, pregnant women are treated like they are incubators of life, and that their lives are come somewhere way down the line from the life that they're gestating, with women who choose to have children. Many years I worked in the coffee industry. So many times pregnant women would come in, and these are women who are working full time. Probably they already have kids, they have a lot of stress, whatnot. They order caffeinated coffee, right? And so many times, I would have coworkers who would give women decaf. And, I'd try to coach them afterwards, or just, whatever. That's not cool. But it's just this kind of entitlement our society has to try to tell, pregnant women, what they can consume. I see, pregnant women, working service industry jobs, heavily pregnant. I had an abortion, so I was pregnant for about 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks in the past. That shit wore me out. I was tired all the time, having to pee all the time, and that was really early on in the pregnancy. So I can only imagine what it must be like to be working your ass off, because I see women waitressing with pregnant bellies. So, but I'm thinking working a full-time job, a lot of stress. I can only imagine what that's got to be like. And then you're not even allowed to drink a cup of coffee, or people judge what you're eating. Oh, you're not eating enough of this, you're not eating enough of that, when your body's going through probably one of the most difficult processes in its life. Also with women who smoke when they're pregnant, there's so much judgment around that too. It can cause, damage. And it's so many people I know had mothers who smoked when they were pregnant. It's, this has to end, this idea of women as being just like these vessels. It's in so much of society, we're supposed to be vessels for other people's desires. But when, in bearing children, there's a lot of rhetoric about how important it is to be a mother. There's a lot of rhetoric about the nobility of being a hardworking mom. But it's not backed up with anything. And, even in daily life, culturally, pregnant women aren't given any respect. They're just treated so often by people they're, they're just objects through which this more important life is being passed, and that they have no rights of their own, or no autonomy of their own. It's really sad, actually. And only one woman in the group had been a mother, so the two of us had abortions and had been pregnant, but one of the members has been a mother, and just shared her experiences about how people touch you without asking, or even that somebody would come up and ask, "Can I touch you?" The very oddness of that, the kind of disrespect that shows to a person, or commenting on the body, or asking personal questions about bodily functions, those kind of things. Just how dehumanizing. One of the people shared a story she'd read about a woman who was suing I guess she'd read it on Jezebel. I'm not going to look it up because I don't have time. But this woman was at a bachelorette party. She's a pregnant woman at a bachelorette party. and she was drinking a glass of water, and she was asked by a bouncer in the club to leave because they didn't want to be liable if, if something were to happen. Basically, she wasn't doing anything wrong. She was there at a party celebrating her friend's, marriage, and drinking water. But yet even a pregnant woman being in a bar is just unacceptable. I mean, how dehumanizing. And then, of course, there's the whole difficulty of raising children in a society that hates children, and mothers, and finds them to be complete inconveniences. This is kind of the fundamental social bonding that holds society together. This is one of the most important things that we have. I mean, having children is such a huge part of our society. We wouldn't have one without that. And yet, it's just such a low status thing, and the people who are responsible for bringing forth children are given zero respect and being told what to do and how to do it. It's very interesting to me, the kind of political hypocrisy, how the Republicans and Democrats will use rhetoric about mothers to, justify their positions, both of which don't really help mothers at all. We don't have any child care that enables women who've given birth to remain in the workforce. There's no universal child care for that. Health care is a big issue. A lot of women still don't have access to that. It's also the aspect of hospitals, through trying to maximize their profits, perform more and more C-sections that are unnecessary on women, which costs twice as much as a vaginal birth. There's the disrespect and desexualization of women who've been mothers, apart from things like MILF kind of things. It's interesting how that works, isn't it? How, as a society, there's such hypocrisy when it comes to women who have kids. There's no help. It's the do-it-all kind of thing. And the most interesting thing about it, too, is that feminism is blamed for a lot of this stuff. Feminism. Either feminism hasn't done enough, right? Or feminism is the cause of women being so upset about the fact that they're struggling with having a job, having to balance, having someone to take care of their kids, having to deal with, oftentimes husbands abandoning them. Still, all of these problems, and yet this is the fault of feminism, not the fault of, our society, which feminism seeks to change. I do feel for women who have children, even, I don't have any, and I don't know, that's kind of shit scares me about having kids. I don't really want to have them. I don't want people touching me. I don't want people judging all of my choices, about what I might be eating, or, I'm not going to give up coffee for no, hell no. And when you think about it, the worst thing that a pregnant mother can really go through is stress. And yet, people feel that they have the right to withhold coffee, which helps them, do their job, or do the things they need to do, because, the caffeine might make the baby a little, jittery. Maybe they'll kick a little bit more. I mean, God, the arrogance is astounding.